Thank you for joining in, and for today's video I have another review. I picked up some masking fluid from Jackson's Art, and it's the Schmincke brand one. And I also have the masking fluid applicator. That one is just the Jackson's brand. So I did go ahead and I just have some lines here on my pumpkin. Nothing too crazy, it's really simple here, because I just wanted to test out and see how well this product performed. And I kept my lines really thin, because if you make them too thick it's going to take too long to dry. So I have a few tips here when using masking fluid. Use old brushes, especially if this is something new and you've never tried it before, because you don't want to get all kinds of like gunk on your expensive watercolor brushes. So I would really recommend using old ones. It does take some time for the masking fluid to dry, so you should be allow for your drying time. And I do not recommend using a hair dryer, because then it will like heat up too much and then it'll get sticky and gummy too. So you definitely don't want to do that. Let it dry on its own. Use a gentle touch when you are pulling it up when it is dry, because you want to avoid any like rips or tears. You can gently rub in circular motions and you'll feel it just rub off. It almost feels like little pieces of erasers. And you don't want to leave it on the paper too terribly long, because then you may have a hard time getting it off, and then it'll lead to ripping as well. And I would also recommend this for, like I'm showing there, it's very small areas would work best. You don't want to be like trying to apply this to half a sheet of paper or anything. So that is it for the tips, and then I'm just going to continue here with a short tutorial and then come back in with some final thoughts in the end. After I let my pumpkin dry for a little while, I did go ahead and I removed the masking fluid here. And this particular one, it took quite a while for it to dry, and I like came back and checked it, and then it was still a little wet and it smudged a little bit, so I let it dry some more and then removed the rest. I even tried to like gently scrape a little bit with the palette knife to get some of it off as well. Overall, it did what it was supposed to do. One thing I like about the Schmincke is it's not as smelly as some of the other ones with those, like that heavy ammonia smell. So that's definitely a positive. But this is definitely time consuming. So if you're someone who doesn't really have a whole lot of patience, I'm not sure if masking fluid is really for you, because there's a little bit of prep work involved. And then, like I said, you have to let it dry and then come back and check it and then take it off. And you definitely have to be careful. Like if something's still wet, it may bleed or rip your paper a little bit if your paper's a little too thin. So there are some things to think about with that. And yeah, that is it for today's review here. And I did... Jackson's link will be down below. This was the Schmincke masking fluid, and then I just had the Jackson's little applicator. This did work really well, and I've had this for a while, so there was no clogging in the tip or anything. Nope, it works pretty good. And links will be down below. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.